Hello, how are you? How's things?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone, please?
Sure. Hello. I'm Lindsay Wild. I work at GitHub on the accessibility team. I'm coming up right on a year being at GitHub, which is super cool. Time flies.
Mm.
Before this, I've worked on a lot of design systems and e-commerce websites and just mostly been in front end for like the past 10 plus years. So that's me.
Hey and TNT, who's just joined. Uh, and I wanted to point this out, by the way. This is so you say you've been here a year and you've
Hmm.
got the kind of the kind of ritual of GitHub, right? Is see if you can get a blog post uh, under your own authorship. And here's yours. This is the latest and greatest from Lindsay. Building an accessible query builder. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I didn't know that was kind of a ritual of GitHub, but I guess I
Well, it's like
passed that.
yeah, it's like you enter into a more exclusive set of GitHub employees if you've been, I don't know, I'm making this up, but it's just it's like a career goals, right? Get your name on the
Yeah.
GitHub blog.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The process to get a blog post posted is
Oh
very intense, but I
yeah,
understand why because it is a huge audience.
yeah. Mm.
So lots of reviews and things. But yeah, this was a fun one to write. Had the privilege of working with you, Keith, on this component.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty
It's a
soon
web
you'll see this.
component as well. I think it's worth
It is
pointing
a
out
web.
it's a web component. It works with the two kind of frameworks that we have. Let me switch my fan off. I just realised. Yeah, it works with the two frameworks that we have. So we've got like Vue component in Rails and React. We use React at GitHub a fair bit as well, and so it works within those two because it's a web component, right?
Yes, and this was actually the second web component I think I've written. Of course,
Oh,
with the help
interesting.
of Keith. Yes. Uh,
What was the first?
the action menu.
The action menu. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
That's another one,
But
isn't
I
it? That's well, we've got the at least it's in both. I don't know if they're both using the web component as a backing component.
no, only the Rails version is.
Yeah,
And I didn't use Catalyst for that one because I didn't know about it. So,
that's okay. We don't have to use Catalyst. It's there. It works, but we don't have to.
but it's cool. I got to use
Yeah.
Catalyst for this one, which was
Mm.
very neat.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like this component. I think this post is well worth a read because it goes in with into a lot of the accessibility, and I think it is one of those components where there's nothing like there's nothing out there that really does a truly great job at like having a truly great accessible experience, whereas this one feels like it does. It has a lot of considerations, and like the design needed to be informed by accessibility, right? The actual like
Hmm.
architecture of the component needs to be informed by accessibility, which I think often people think of it as like an after you've developed something, then you can think about accessibility. But I think this is a good demonstration of where thinking about it first allows you to kind of work on an architecture that scales to both accessible and non-accessible interface, or like the assistive technology parts of the interface as well as the visible pixels on the screen.
Yes. And there's a lot more that goes into it behind the scenes than you would think.
Yeah.
So the component that we based this off of and kind of, I don't want to say rebuilt because we did use it as inspiration, but a lot of the changes are not visual. Most of them were in the underlying semantics. Um, so if we did a side-by-side comparison of it, even just a screen reader user using the old one and using the new one, it would be completely different.
Mm.
So
Yeah, absolutely. But we're not going to build the query builder today. We're going to build something else. We're going to we don't know what we're going to build. We're going to have to find out. So I'm going to open up the web component slot machine.
Alright.
And we're going to find out what we're building today. Image compare. So I guess like this already exists on GitHub actually as well. But like when you do a diff of an image, there's like you've got two images and you want to compare them side by side. Oh, hey Nojo. You want to compare these two images side by side and then like swipe between them, or like there's different ways that you can do it on GitHub. I think I don't know if I have an example to hand, but on GitHub we provide. There's one that's like a transparency, like an onion skin view, I think, and then there's like a swipey one. But maybe we'll just do a swipey one today. Anyways, we're gonna say image compare element. Thought I had a white space there. Compare two images. And I need to clone this now. Image compare. So yesterday, well, not yesterday now, it was Monday, we worked on toot embed, and that was we embedded a Mastodon toot, because that's what they call them. I think they changed the name actually. I think it's already out of date. It used to be called a toot, and now I think they just call them Mastodon posts.
I like toot better.
Toot is great. So
the 5-year-old in me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, my kids love toot. My oldest kid is absolutely obsessed with toilet humor. So we're gonna make the image compare element. We need to npm install. Whoops. Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, npm install. Yeah, I think toot's the hill that I die on. I think it has to be called a toot. Right, we're gonna go to the index and we're gonna change. So I don't know if you're familiar with this actually, Lindsay, but we've got this custom element boilerplate. And GitHub provides this. This is one of the things that we've done at GitHub. I say we, I mean like Chris and I and other people past. The custom element boilerplate, it just gives us everything we need to like have a decent developer experience developing custom elements. So one of the things is it just comes with an example index HTML with like hot module reloading or whatever.
Nice.
So this is image compare, and we just need to rename it image compare element. Okay, so if I go to image compare element, oops, I'm just doing this off screen. I'm just going to start the server. No one needs to see a server. We just want to. Okay, we got an error, and it's because of this. Okay, we've got a little wave. So that's the wave.
All
so
right.
we're going to get rid of that. I guess. So if we're comparing two images, we want two images, right?
Yep, we will probably need 2 images. Sounds good.
I don't know what's a good. Is it placekit.en? Is that one? What's a good thing for 2 images? I know.
I think it's just placekitten.com.
Is it placekit.com?
Maybe there's 2, but that is one, placekitten, yeah.
There's is there like an Unsplash one as well? Who knows? I'm gonna look one up quickly because I remember that there's one that I've been using recently that I forget the name of.
Placeholder.com, but that's not as fun. It's just a gray square or rectangle.
Unsplash has one. Well, it kind of has one, so you can do this, and so we can say like left and right, and then when it loads. Oops, we need to do this. Whoa, that's a big image.
Wow,
Yeah, cool.
okay.
So, I mean, those are 2 images.
Those are aggressive images.
They are, but like that's weird because it says cute, and I don't think that's I mean, this one is arguably cute. This one is arguably less cute.
Yeah, and just to describe it, so we have one image of a bald eagle looking very fierce, and the second one is of a gorilla, fierce but confused.
Yes,
yeah. I would not consider them cute.
Yeah, I'm digging the image descriptions. That's it's true accessibility first, or accessibility forwardness. I need to remind myself. I need to check myself every now and then.
It's hard to remember sometimes, to be honest.
Yeah, it's such a pervasive is maybe the word, or like it's such a passive thing to be like I like have this sense that I'm ingesting things with, and like that's apparent to my whole life, that like I could just see and take it for granted and walk around, and like I don't need to communicate things in any other way because I just am making the assumption that everyone else can do what I can do, which is not always the case.
And it's hard to know what level to describe things in. I think that's always a balance that you need to figure out. But
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But you know, trying is at least halfway there, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I just found this site that has all these different image generators. There's like one for beards.
Oh, cool.
So just different beards. And there's one called Bacon Mock-Up. There's a lot of a lot of fun ones out there. For future reference.
So we're going to be using the Shadow DOM for this, and it's not something we use a ton at GitHub, but we do use it quite a lot. We're using it more and more, especially as exciting news. Safari has started implementing declarative Shadow DOM, which for some people will mean a lot, and for others maybe doesn't. But like, it's a big part of the Shadow DOM spec that we're really excited to see in web components, and it will mean a lot. And for GitHub specifically, I think we've been kind of waiting on that as a spec to land. And so yeah, there's a pull request enabling the declarative Shadow DOM, which I'm very excited for. We got two different images. I don't know why. I don't think does it refresh each time? Oh, I thought it was different.
I guess so.
But it refreshes each time. So now we've got a whale and I'm stuck.
A bird.
A bird of which is this like a falcon of some sort? I don't know.
Like a baby.
So I think we're going to have two slots. We're going to have one, which is the we're going to make a slot name left, and we're going to make a slot name right. And so in our Shadow DOM, we're going to have these two slots, and I think that's why that's complaining. Yeah. And so we're going to for the images. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. For the images, we're going to assign them to the slots, and so whoops, this one's going to be slot left, and then this one's going to be slot right.
Oh, quick question. Alt text.
Oh yeah.
How does that work with Shadow DOM stuff?
Oh yeah, it works perfectly fine. So we can add alt text here. Unfortunately, because this generates a new each time, I'm not sure what we're going to add for alt text.
Maybe just like placeholder image of a random animal.
Placeholder image of a random cute animal, apparently, according to the.
We're not supposed to use the word image. Sorry, that was my bad. I don't think we need the word image. Maybe we could just say placeholder.
Placeholder?
Yeah, I'm sure people will fight me on my alt text, which is fine.
Yeah. Oh no, there's a gross bot on the chat.
Big shot Bob, get out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna banned. Bye-bye. How do I go away? Just go away. There we go. Okay, so we got these two images in our shadow root, and so if we look at the way that the shadow root works, let me zoom in a bit, makes this a bit more comfortable. Maybe there. So we've got our image compare element, and here's the shadow root, And then we've got the slot name left and the slot name right. And then in here we can see we've got the reflected element. So the first image, which is this one, which has the slot left, that goes into the... So the image with the attribute slot left goes into the slot element with the attribute of name equals left. And then the slot element with the attribute of name equals right goes the image with the slot attribute of right. So slot means name on the slot element, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like I don't know, it's a reverse kind of relationship where you say, like, if you have a tag, you can tell it which slot to go into, and then you name the slots, and so you pass the slot name to tell it which one to go into. Why that is useful is that we now have these two elements, these two slots, and we can do stuff with that. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we want to create a style sheet, and then we're going to make a new CSS style sheet, and we're going to replace the contents of this style sheet, which is currently empty. And I guess we're going to say, well, I think we want to put a wrapping div in here. And the reason we want a wrapping div, if I can type today, which I usually cannot, we want the div to be... Why is... Oh my god.
Oh man.
My
Has a
indent
mind
is
of
way
its
out.
own.
Yeah. Right. We want the div to be display relative, so that we can position the two images, which I think need to be the slots. Sorry, this is going to be position absolute. This should overlay the two, so I have no idea if it's actually done that. It looks... no, it doesn't.
Wait, display relative? Is that it?
It's not display relative, it's position relative. Thank you very much.
Like, oh no.
Yeah. No, position relative. I'm very bad at CSS. I think we are missing something because these are not... So slot display contents. I think this actually needs to be slotted image. It would really be helpful to size these down a bit for now, I think. So let's make these width 50 pixels. Well, that's a bit small. That's maybe better. Let's say 250. Okay, that's a bit more like it. So we've got these two images side by side. We need to style these so that they are position absolute, so that they overlap each other. So they should be... this should have worked. Could also use CSS grid. Div display grid, div slot grid area 1-1. Might create some other issues though. It's a pretty good idea, no, Joe? I think we're just going to try that then. So the div, you reckon, we'll do display grid. And then the slot, I guess, div slot, we could do grid area 1-1. Huh. Oh my god, I'm being such a dum-dum. We haven't adopted the style sheet, and so this is not getting applied at all. And I've done this several times already in this stream. So, whoops. That's not the paste I wanted. So, we need to adopt the style sheet into the shadow DOM. And now... I mean, is that one image? That's two images again, isn't it? But they're not displaying quite right. I think the grid... I don't know if the grid is working exactly as we had hoped. But let's have a look. So we've got the div slot, the grid area, 1-1 auto. But I don't know if it's working quite as well. We might need the position relative, and position absolute here. I think this should work. No, why is this not working? Okay, I'm confused now. This has position relative. If I get rid of the grid area, is that going to help? Is it that the image is not? Position absolute.
Oh, that looks like a Mickey.
Yeah. So I'm going to go back to slotted image, and that should do the trick. There we go. So if I set the opacity to 0.5, we should see. Well, now this looks.
Wait, that might be one. What's the bottom image?
Yeah, it is. So it seems like these images, the aspect ratio is off. Like they have different aspect ratios.
Ooh.
Nojo says slotted might need to be display block. I think you are perhaps right there, but I think we're going to go with this slotted selector because it's doing the trick.
I know there's a way in CSS to do the aspect ratio.
Right, yeah, we can do. There is literally an aspect ratio property, but it will skew or stretch the image because we're defining the width. You can do. What is it? It's like cover, something cover.
Oh, I think that's if it's a background image, you can do cover.
Is it? I think you can do object fit cover.
Oh.
And I think that works. Yeah, that looks like it works.
Cover is an option.
So this image here, I can see is 1080 by 1620, and the rendered size is 250 by 250. And looking at the crop, we can see that it has cropped out the top and the bottom, and so we're getting a pretty even. I'm going to resize these a bit more. So we've got these two images.
Nice.
We need some kind of slider now, right? So I guess we can say button. I don't know if we need anything in the button, but we can start styling the button. So the button needs to be position absolute. It needs to be width. What do we say? 10 pixels for now. Height. Well, I guess I'm going to say the top 0, bottom 0. So this should give us a 10 pixel button, which is there. Z index. Yeah, there's our button, but it's not stretching all the way. I think I need height auto as well. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's start playing around with this in the inspector. I think this is the right way to go about it, is to have this button, and this will be our... Oh my god, my video's frozen again, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Let's see if this... Oh no. Is it going to work at all? Let me see. No, it's just frozen video again. This has happened before as well.
Oh no.
I wonder if I literally just unplug it and plug it back in again. Anyway, so I think what we want to do is we want to have this button, and we want the button to kind of act like our little slider knob, I guess, for lack of better phrasing. My webcam is just dead. Alright, well, let's get rid of that. And so we'll click and drag that across the page. We could use a slider as well. Is there like a, what is it, input type range?
Yeah, I was literally just looking at that.
Yeah, so we could use that. Oops. I just need to do this, I think.
Yeah, that it looks like it automatically works with the arrow keys, which is
Oh,
lovely.
that's yeah, gets us along a lot of the way there is, I think, what I was trying. So I guess we want to say width 100%. Yeah, this looks not quite right. I guess.
Maybe it's the position?
Do we want right auto as well? Right, right 0. That sends us all the way here. I guess this is because this image compare element is doesn't have a display, or it's display inline. So if we change the host to display block, it should. Yeah, it's still got this 0. Oh, because everything inside it is an absolute positioned element now. And so this doesn't have any kind of intrinsic boundaries, I guess. Which does make things a bit annoying. I wonder if we just took one of the images, like the left one, and made it position absolute. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got like one of these images is sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what is going on with my webcam. One of these images is now properly in the page, and the image compare is now to the bounds. So we're getting like content sizing on the image compare, which makes this in the middle now, which is kind of cool. So the slider's in the middle. I'm gonna try it. See if my webcam's working again now. Okay.
Oh yes.
We're back. I apologize for that. Okay. So I think what we want to do. We want to do something with this input, right? This is not how we want it to look. We want the... I guess we could take off this display grid now. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up too much. Because this slider is all over the place. This is not where it needs to be. We want it to be like... I might give it a border. 1 pixel solid black. Just so we can see where it is. Which has not worked.
Width of 10 pixels?
The width of 10?
Messing it up?
Oh, like, oh, why have I got width 10 pixels?
On line 11.
Why did I do that? I have no idea why I did that.
I think we originally had it as a button. That you were going to do on the left side.
Right, yes. So here's the input type range. It is position absolute, which definitely makes a difference. The top is 0. The bottom is 0, which puts it in the middle. The right is 0. I haven't done the left. That's probably going to help a lot. There we go.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. So we've got this slider, and then I think it's still not to the right size. So I think maybe I'm going to give up for now and just set this to width 250 pixels, just so we can see what's going on a bit better. Did I change this to? I changed this to 500 pixels, didn't I? Okay, cool. So we got a slider. Now the slider uses shadow DOM just like we are. So the input type range actually has its own user agent supplied shadow root, and this is really useful because we can look at this and we can see what we've got inside. And so we've got this like WebKit slider runnable track, and I wonder if we can style this such that like we style the kind of, well, they call it a thumb, which is this button inside it, I guess, and then we can style the track to be transparent. I don't know if we can, but we'll find out. So I guess we want what do we want? We want input. So we can copy and paste this pseudo selector that's in here. This pseudo should give us a So if we said, what, display none? That's not going to work because the thumb's inside, right? So now we just get this weird input background, I guess. I just Google a bit, find if we can. So I think maybe if we set appearance none. Okay, that looks cool.
Whoa.
Do we need background maybe none? Yeah, cool. So we've got this like floating button, and I think we can. So unfortunately, this thumb, this should have a pseudo selector as well. There is a pseudo selector available, which is WebKit slider thumb apparently. Let's find out. Let's say border 10 pixel solid hot pink. Whoop. Guess not then. Is that not the
WebKit slider thumb? That's a thing.
it's a thing, right?
It is a thing.
Background hot pink.
I wonder if you have to do -WebKit -appearance none?
Yeah, you reckon? Shall I try?
It's worth a try.
Yeah, still no.
No. Are you trying to set the border of the like blue thumb thing?
Yeah, trying to style this button. I don't know. Do we need type range? I wonder. Is that because some of these selectors, again, this might be me showing how bad I am at CSS, but I feel like sometimes these selectors, they need like a specific kind of incantation to work, and like they can only work as like one selector in a single rule or something. I don't know. Have I got a delay on my camera now?
I see you moving.
Okay. I think I don't know what is going on with my webcam. Okay, so are we any closer to this? We are. I wonder if because what is it that's causing this to? I wonder if it's appearance none on this as well.
Maybe.
Would help. Hey, there we go.
Oh, we're close.
We're very close. So that is not the best because we've kind of lost. Let me get rid of the background. Is that the problem? No. Let's give this a width of 10 pixels and a height of 10 pixels.
I like the link that was posted in the chat. Sliding nightmare. Understanding region.
Oh, thanks, Nojo. Let's have a look. Is this? Why am I? Okay, I can't seem to open links now, which is cool. Everything's breaking. Every time I go on stream, it's like everything breaks. Okay. I have copied the link. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is this looks interesting. So we've got the input type range, and yeah, this is the same kind of thing, right? The structure inside. We've got this ID thumb, track progress thumb. Yeah, this is a good looking guide. I think we're pretty much there with ours. We just need to like make this a lot better.
I think for accessibility too, we'll have to make it bigger.
Yes, I was actually going to ask, do you think that there is there some kind of recommended sizes for accessibility? I feel like in a sense there is, because like touch devices, like we have this kind of physicality to screen sizes, right? And so like a CSS pixel, there is a real world equivalent of a CSS pixel, even though it varies from device to device. I feel like 25 pixels is like the minimum that you want as a touchable area. I could be wrong.
So back in my olden days, it was always 44 by 44 was the minimum.
Interesting.
But I'm checking the WCAG spec just to see if that's updated. It looks like for level AAA, which is the highest level of accessibility criteria you can have, also not necessarily the one that is required. Typically, most websites will only care about AA compliance, which is one below that. AAA says 44 by 44.
Yeah, Langerman K is saying 44 as well. Let's go for 44. That seems like a...
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? So let's make...
Katie says 44 as well. I feel validated.
Okay, so we've got this slider. We need to do something with this slider. Let's actually do something with this slider. Are we happy with the hot pink?
I'm cool with
we could add a border radius. Everyone loves a good border radius, right? We can just slap on a border radius and be happy with that. What, 8 pixels, should we say?
Yeah. Sure. Maybe we should add a border too, just in case for some reason both pictures are hot pink.
That's
to kind of delineate contrast a little bit.
That is it. That's a great idea. Yeah. Let's make like a 4 pixel border.
Perfect.
Cool. Maybe even a drop shadow. We could what's it? Box shadow.
Yes, fancy.
1 pixel, 3 pixels, Ruger bar, 0, 0, 0, 2, 5. Right? That's valid, isn't it? That's valid CSS. I don't even know what. Is this the blur? If I wanna have more of a blur, or is that the offset? That's like an offset. Is it this one?
The second.
Oh yeah, there we go. So if I said 0, 0, 10. I can't even see that now. That was a terrible idea.
Well, probably because the image is so dark too, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I see it a little bit.
Right. So we need to do something with this. So we're going to, if we said add event listener change, and we add a handle event method, and this is going to take an event. I'm just going to console log it out for now and see if we actually get anywhere with that. Yeah, it's not really great, is it? It's not logging anything. So the input type range should have a change
question.
event.
Oh.
What's the question?
Is this on 65 referring to the input or like the whole?
It's referring to. That's a really good point. It's referring to the element itself. Change, if I recall, does bubble, but it will only bubble inside the shadow root. And so maybe we actually want to say, I don't know if we can do render root add event listener. Yeah, see now we're getting it. You've hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly what the problem was. The problem we have now is that this event only actually emits when I let go of the cursor. So I'm holding click down, I'm moving, and as you can see, I'm moving a ton and there's no change events. As soon as I let go of the mouse, then I get a change event, which is no good.
Ooh.
Because if we actually wire this up, you're going to drag the slider and nothing's going to happen, and then you're going to let go and then everything's going to snap into place. So I think we might want to change this to input. I think that's the right one. Yeah, see, we get a ton of these now, which is great. I guess we want to say the input element. I think we want to say max 100 min equals 0 as well. And so now the value, well, let's confirm what I'm actually, confirm my hunch. So if I said input console log event.target.value, now we should get, yeah, we get this from 0 to 100 anyway.
Does it work with the key? Can we see the arrow keys too? Just curious.
Yeah. Oh, it's not focusable.
Uh-oh.
Why is it not focusable? I think it's because I need delegates focus. Who knows? Okay, well we've got focus. I can't tab out. Right, okay. So tab, 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 tab. Okay, where? Right, so I've got the focus and then I can arrow key.
Nice.
And that's causing these change events. So if I tab and I tap right, I'm getting these change events. So this kind of works, right? This is like out of the box accessibility because we're using a component which has already implemented all the accessibility or a lot of the accessibility features that we might want. So in our handle event, we want to do something with this input value. So what do we want to do? We want to kind of set the do we want to set the width? We don't want to set the width of this top image, do we? Let's. I'm going to get rid of the opacity if I can find it. So we've got one image. Why is my right click not working now? My right click doesn't work on this image. Does it not work over the input? That's weird. It doesn't work here, but it works here. That's super weird. Anyway. One issue at a time. With these images, if we're at 50, let's say we're at 50 on this slider, do we want to show like the first 50% of the image on top? So like I don't even know how we would do this, but like width 50%. Because we've got aspect ratio 1 set, if we get rid of this, yeah, this is going to be a problem, right? Like if I just change this to the width of this is going to shrink the image down.
So just a question.
Yeah.
Is our expectation that changing the slider would, like if the images were side by side, it would start to reveal more of one image, like 100% opacity? Or is the slider going to, let's say it was at 60%, would the top image have 60% opacity over the bottom image? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of question that I've kind of got in my head as well, which is like what are we doing? Like we have a slider and we know that we want to like transition between these two images, but how? But I think if we had if this slider were to act like almost like a window wipe effect, where it's like it will cut off part of this image, and the more you swipe to the right, the more of the image it reveals, so you can kind of compare the two that way. I don't know if that makes any sense. Or yeah, we could just scale the opacity. We could tie it to the opacity probably fairly easy. So we could say like this.query selector slot equals left. Well, in fact, what we can do, we'll make a little style sheet. Oh, hello, Jason. In my opinion, the most common how is revealing the window wiper. Could you use the div that wraps each image, change the width on that div without affecting the width of the image with overflow hidden? Yeah, so we could add a div here as well. Right on this one. And then if we look at the shadow root that we have now, that's the input shadow root. So we've got this one div. We've got the second div. And if I said width 50%, pixels. Is this doing anything? Oh, we're missing... Where's the... I need a bit more space here, I think. So we've got this image, which is the second image. The first image, or is it the second image, isn't getting shown, it seems, which is part of the problem. I think this is now... Is this working or is this not working? I think wrapping the two in the divs has messed up the CSS a bit, but I think this is the strategy that we might want to go with. Thanks Jason, and welcome. So if we have these two divs, I guess we can make those position absolute, like div. This is some gnarly CSS, but it kind of doesn't matter in the Shadow DOM, right? Like, the divs are the only ones that, like, we're the only ones that can structure this document, and so we get to be as lazy as we want with the names and the selectors. This is now weird. I have no idea why. So the div, so I think maybe we want to give these aspect ratio of 1 as well. Maybe that'll help things along. Should we give this an aspect ratio of 1 as well? Come on, something work. Every time CSS just trips me up. We've got this image, we've got this div. Oh, we want to overflow hidden. That's part of this, isn't it? If this was overflow hidden, which image is this? This is a squirrel, and this is the bird. So that the left image is a squirrel, and we're not seeing it. And so if we said height 500 pixels, width 250 pixels. What? Are we on the second div? Am I looking at the second div? Or... Oh no, this is for each of them. If this is overflow hidden. Right. If on this one we said width 250 pixels. Yeah, we're not revealing anything. Height 250 pixels.
I think that's the bottom one that you're updating.
Is it the bottom one I'm updating now? This is the one that has the left image, and this is the one that has the right image. The image is there, the div is there. This is the... Did I position absolute one of the... I didn't position absolute the left one, did I?
I think they're both position absolute, right?
They're both position absolute now. Now they're not. Okay, so... Oh... Is it first child of type? Is that the...
I think it's just first of type.
First of type?
Are you trying to just get the first div?
Yeah, trying to go back to square one with these slots. So this one now looks like it's shown, and so the first image, so the second image is of an elephant, and the first image is of a fox. So we should be able to see the fox, but we're seeing the elephant, and so we've got position. So this hasn't got the first. Oh, this has got the first to type styles. So if I said width 500 pixels, height 500 pixels, it's not visible. I feel like this shouldn't be this much of an issue. Why? So it's of a fox. This was working a second ago. Overflow auto. So maybe if I go back to the 50% opacity, it will help matters. So is this even... working now. Opacity 0.5. Okay, so we're completely missing one of these images now because of this div, I think.
I think it's underneath. It's just hard to see.
Is it actually?
If there is an image underneath.
Okay, so one of these is definitely a shark, and then the other one is like just a picture of the sky.
The shark.
You can see the shark?
I think it's actually like 25% since you have opacity on line 13.
You're right.
It's got like double, half.
Yeah, there we go. That's a bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to refresh one more time. So we got... no, I'm going to refresh again. I want two... There we go. Cool. We got two pretty distinctive images. Yeah, no, Joe's right. Double the opacity. So we've got a fox and we've got a lion. The first image on the left is the lion. Okay, so now if I were to say width 250 pixels. Yay! It works.
Hey.
Oh my god, we're there. Okay, cool. If I said width 50%, does that work too? Great. Okay. We are there. We are there. So
we made it.
Let's give this a class of left, just so we can query it a bit easier, both in the CSS, but then also we're going to say get hashtag left, and we'll return the render root query selector dot left. And then in the handle event, we can say this update, and we'll give it. We'll make this a private method. So this dot hashtag update value. We can just actually take this. And so update is going to be this dot left dot style dot width equals value, which is a number. It's not a numberage, it's a number. Value, we want to do value percent, right? Okay, cool.
Wow, cool.
So the reason I've made this a private method now is we also want to do this on the connected callback. We want to say this dot hashtag update, this dot left, this dot render root query selector input value. Yeah, there we go. So now if we get rid of the opacity, everything breaks. I think I know what the problem is then. So this needs a higher Z index. So maybe this should be right. So if this, yeah, there we go.
Hey, cool.
This is excellent. Okay. We finally got there. So we've got this like image swipe. So it's I mean it's not perfect, but it's there. It's weird because it doesn't follow the line, right? Because I guess this needs to be slightly wider than the input, than the images.
I wonder if the thumbnail, if it's something to do with the position of the thumbnail.
I think it is. So we set that to 44 pixels. I'm wondering if we set this to 44 pixels. Oh no, everything goes wrong.
Oy.
Get rid of that. Put it here. What does that look like? Not better. I think we want to set. Maybe we want to set the input margin to minus 44 pixels. I think your hunch is right, where it's like, yeah. See, this is sticking a bit more. This is kind of sticking more to the. So I wonder if margin left 22 pixels would put this bang in the center.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Cool. And then I think maybe a padding of 22 pixels. DNTNT is also on it. Knows exactly what we were going for. This is cool. That felt stressful. And again, it's the CSS. I am just terrible at CSS. And we get stuck in this thing. But we got there. Okay, but we should check the accessibility, right? So we want to see... Also, the border's not great, is it?
Yeah, the focus indicator needs some love.
Yeah. But it looks like it's working. This is working pretty nicely. Is there anything else that you would like this to do?
Just the focus indicator, but let's see. So accessibility wise, we're testing with the keyboard.
Yeah.
It's working.
It's quite slow, I have to admit. I think holding the shift key should make it shift more than one character at a time. But I'm worried.
I guess it depends on what the default is for the input. Maybe there's some special way you can change it faster with the input type equals range.
Yeah. Might be nice to have it scroll as well. Maybe it might be terrible, but the clicking and the dragging works nicely. I wonder if you should just be able to type in a number as well. Like if I type in 20, should it just change it to 20?
Ooh. Yeah, you could. I think you'd probably have to. I've never done this, so this might not be a good idea. But I'm thinking you'd make another input with a type of text, and then you would just update the value of the input range based off of what's in the text.
I don't think we're going to do that in 4 minutes. That's my only thing.
That's an enhancement.
It's an enhancement. It's maybe a job for tomorrow or afterwards. Or if any of our wonderful viewers want to submit a pull request. So Nojo's saying step. So we can use step to improve the... So if I just put step blank, this doesn't do anything. But so if I wanted to, I guess if we said key press or key down and key up, and then if the event type is key down and the event.key, I don't even know what the event key is for shift because it's non-printable. So is it key shift? Who knows? Let's find out. So if the event's key down, it's just shift. So if event key down and event key is shift, I could set the range. Let's make this another one. This is going to be get hashtag input return. This is going to be this dot hashtag input dot value, and I want to return just the input. So now I can say this dot hashtag input dot step equals 10, else if event dot type equals key down equals key up, and event dot key is shift, then we set it back to 0. Should we try this? Okay, so I'm pushing arrow right and it's going up by 1. Oh, yeah, that works. Now it's going by 10. And then if I let go. What do you think, Lindsay? Because I have a feeling this is going to be problematic for a reason, and I want to know why.
Yeah. It would be unexpected behavior from keyboard users that shift plus arrow keys would do something different than the default behavior unless we let them know in some way, like maybe some text saying, oh, if you press this key combination it would do this instead. I guess the question would be if we want all users to be able to have it step by 10, because like they're saying in the chat, if you just add step by step equals 10 to the input itself, dragging would change it by 10.
Yeah.
And using the arrow keys would change it by 10, so that'd be the same for everybody. So it might be a more accessible solution if we wanted to have it by 10. But
I think that's good feedback, because yeah, I think, well, interestingly, the drag, so I'm holding shift and I'm dragging and it works quite nicely. It's not stepping by 10, it seems. Oh, now it is. I think it depends. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty good feedback. I think it demonstrates an important point, which is like what feels like easy and ergonomic for some can be confusing for others. And while for me it's a little cumbersome to like hold right arrow to see it slowly swipe, I think you're right that like if there's an expectation that the keyboard works a certain way and you're changing that expectation, you've got to have a really good reason.
yeah, I think you have to go back to what the intent is too. If somebody would be using this just to go like 1 pixel, then it'd probably be okay. And then I'm thinking people with motor issues or who might not be able to press the key a lot, since you can hold down the arrow key, it might be okay.
I mean, that's what I'm doing,
I think
just to avoid too many key presses. So I'm holding it down right now, because yeah, otherwise it's a lot of tapping to get it to move a substantial amount, which was my main motivation for adding shift, so I can move a larger amount.
Yeah, I think the best solution for something like this would probably be that input we were talking about, where you can just type in the number that you want it to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we did have the shift work this way, we'd definitely have to let users know, either in text or probably by text.
Yeah. Well, we're at time, so I'm going to commit this. Should we remove this? Do you want your name to be associated with this? With this shift key malarkey?
I don't know. If you wanted to keep it, I guess you could comment it out and just put a note.
I don't mind deleting it. It's easy to delete. It's easy to put back.
Not even give people the option.
Yeah. Let's commit this and let's finish up. So I'm going to be terrible and I'm going to say I've forgotten your GitHub handle. Is it this, Lindsay? No, it's not. It's just Lindsay Wild. It's just Lindsay Wild, isn't it? Why do I always think it's Lindsay B? There is someone else that's Lindsay B.
There is a
right?
Lindsay B.
Okay.
But I don't think you added the stuff because I think you had too many D's on add when you did get add.
Yeah, I don't know why my T key for ages was typing 2 T's at once, and now my D key's doing it. But Git auto corrected for me.
Oh. I didn't see that.
So I'm going to commit this.
Okay.
That's not what I want. I want initial implementation, which is my terrible commit message that I always do. Oh no, my signing key is not working. There we go. Okay. So this is you're immortalized forever on this. This is our implementation of image compare, done in 1 hour. Thank you very much for participating. This has been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This has been super fun.
I would say that I'd love to have you back for another stream, but there's only 4 more streams left and they're all booked up. So we've got special guests throughout the week, and I don't want to do this again. It's been a lot. 24 components. I don't think we're going to get to 24 components, which was the original intent. But there's 4 streams left to do 7 components now, I think. So we'll see what happens. But thank you for joining me. I'll see you back at work, if not before. And thanks everyone for watching. See you around.
Thank you.